Less than 24 hours after U.S. President Donald Trump laid out his priorities for Afghanistan, what he called a, quote, new strategy for South Asia, the Afghan Taliban condemned White House plans for a boost in U.S. troops being sent to the country, saying the group will turn the country into a graveyard for American forces.
As long as even one American soldier is in our country and their leaders continue with their war approach, we, with a strong spirit and full determination, will continue our jihad.
The Afghan government in Kabul welcomed the announcement, as the top U.S. military commander in the region confirmed more U.S. troops were already on their way. By design, the White House says, to keep enemy forces guessing, it's still unclear in what capacity and how many. Back in Washington, Trump's top diplomat, Rex Tillerson, the U.S. Secretary of State, was clarifying his boss's plans. He said decisions will be decentralized, moved from Washington to the battlefield.
The president's been quite clear that what will be different this time is he has empowered our military commanders on the ground to make more timely decisions, to conduct battlefield operations based upon the conditions on the ground with the battle plans that Secretary of Defense Mattis will be approving. That is going to change the dynamic on the ground considerably.
Tillerson said the U.S. would be open to peace talks with, quote, moderate elements of the Taliban. He said India would be an important partner toward that goal, a distinction welcomed by New Delhi. Tillerson saved his harshest language for Pakistan, which he accused of, quote, harboring terrorists. He said Islamabad has been forewarned. Pakistan's foreign minister denied the accusation. A neighbor, China, came to the country's defense.
Pakistan is on the front line in the struggle against terrorism, has actively made efforts and great sacrifices to combat terrorism for years, and has made important contributions to safeguarding regional and global peace and stability. We believe that the international community should fully recognize Pakistan's anti-terrorism efforts.
Tillerson also accused Russia of selling weapons to the Taliban in violation, he said, of international norms. Moscow has already called such accusations, quote, groundless, and on Tuesday, at least one Russian official was quoted by local media saying he didn't think the U.S.'s new strategy in Afghanistan will lead to any significant changes in the country. Mike?
Well, Roee, you've spent some time for us there in Afghanistan. Why is this such a challenge for the United States?
You know, I remember flying into the country over the Hindu Kush mountain range, 7,500 meters at its highest peak, and the challenge really becomes clear. You've got low valleys, corridors cutting through these high mountain ranges, and whoever sits on top holding a gun, effectively that's the one who's in control. And to add to that, you've got competing tribal warlords, a weak central government, very powerful neighbors, and you get this recipe that we've seen going on for decades, not just for the U.S., but with the Soviets before that. Now, the Taliban know that foreign powers will struggle to gain the upper hand in Afghanistan, and they famously said of the Americans, you may have the watch, but we have the time, meaning they're willing to wait it out. Balance that with diminishing public appetite in the U.S. to have American troops there, and you see why Washington might be a bit stuck. Mike?
Roee, thanks so much.